Morning Scrum with Govind Davis.
So today, this is going to be a really fun session. This is really like the first, I want to call it say fully produced by AI version of the show. So there's a lot that went into getting all ready, setting everything up to do this. And so we're going to do something interesting. We're going to record content for the spotlight, and I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. And then we're going to stop and come back and then just really actually show okay, how do we take the recorded content for the spotlight? And then that's really the morning scrum. So the first part is hey, I'm going to just talk about these production tools. And I'm going to talk about the spotlighting items, which are just the AI voice capture. And I'm not going to do a full comparison. I'm just going to I'm just going to focus on hey, I'm going to show Aqua, because it's just so simple, right? There's not that much to it. And that's it. It's just a really straightforward presentation and article, and then we're going to stop the recording and then show how we're going to go through this workflow where we're going to take the recording and turn it into an asset or a production piece. I'm going to get at least a ways into that. So what I did is this is actually a small thing, but it is actually a big, it makes a huge difference. So you can see what I worked on today here a little bit was I created I'm calling it Session. Need to change some logo stuff and other things here and clean up that. But we forked Wave Terminal. So I had Codex fork Wave Terminal and create this special version of it where it has a metadata tab. And then the metadata tab is really some instructions and binding between the session, and it also locks the tab. So it gives it a tab name, and it binds it to a Codex session primarily now. You could do this with Claude too. It doesn't really matter. But Codex has all the good instruction, and so I'm mostly just going to use this with Codex anyway. And until I blow up and change my mind. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So this is cool. So basically, what happens if the server, the Windows closes or the terminal here closes, all you have to do is come back in. It has this persistent tab appended information here, and you just go resume Codex. You can see it's on the WSL, so it'll actually preserve the session location in each window anyway, so that doesn't really matter, but it is helpful to remember that. And it just opens the door for me because there's just so much more we can do for and this helps explain why you need this. Okay, so all day long in AI land, you're talking to your command lines, right? Or you're talking to your chats constantly. Or, if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 of these potentially running, they might not always be active, but you're going to be doing a lot of this. And I don't like to type that much. Who does? And so you just have a hotkey command. And what's really good too, and none of the times that I've been thank goodness, both of these tools, Aqua and Whisper. Whisper is the one I started with. I just started playing with Aqua just to see how everybody's pretty good. But it's really just these two. I haven't really found anything else that does this. I think on Mac there's some other things. But you're like, hey, I want to give a command, right? I want to issue a command, and you're like, okay, you're going to get tired of typing, right? You just get to the point where you're like, I don't want, somebody was saying, issue 300 commands a day, maybe, whatever it is, it's going to be a lot. And so I'm going to just go in here. I have a hotkey, and I'm just going to say what I need to say. And honestly, like, I don't edit too much. I don't there's this sort of slop in, slop out. That's true. You can definitely clean it up. There's a lot of other workflows, like you could whisper into a text and then clean up your text and put in really clean prompts. I don't mind just messy prompts. Like, I don't know, like, people have different philosophies. I'm like, just get it in there, make sure it's not totally broken, and just kind of keep an eye on what happens afterwards. So, but anyway, we're going to try to see if I can fix this. So I'm working in OBS, and I'm trying to share the Aqua window, and it's just like coming back blank, or it's the Aqua voice. It's weird. It shows up twice, and it's just not showing in OBS. I wonder if we can troubleshoot that. So, talk to it. And I need to go back to this recording to see if it recorded my voice. Like, so it does route the voice, and there's some things there. So it'll be interesting to see if you heard me give the command. But if you did or didn't, you can see it just pops it right in. It'll correct some things for you, but just, huge. It just saves me so much pain, because then I can kind of just sit back, talk, hit the alternate. It's the right alternate for this one, which I actually do like, is the hotkey. And in terms of like night and day tools, you're like, if you said, hey, there's certain tools you have to have working with AI, like, to me, this is right near the top of the list, right? It's the terminal, the CLI, and this voice tool. Honestly, if there's one thing, I'm like, hey, you have to have this. Like, this is a tool that, like, hey, invest in these tools or whatever, because everybody's going to need stuff like this. I think it's absolutely the case, because it's also just like injecting. There's like an AI layer, a thinking layer that happens, so it does like automatic cleanup, and it will do some work. So like, AI starts to produce like real work when it's like video transcription. When I say real work, like, you can get things that take a while. Like, writing code never really takes all that long, and I think it's kind of good. You're like, if it wrote a day's worth of code, would it really be good? Like, first of all, the speed that it's going at would be a huge amount. I'm sure there are things like huge, ginormous code bases, or like there are situations where you're going to have like huge volumes of data. So you're like, what are the long-running AI tasks going to be? And in video production, it's just like the internet, like images, video. In some ways, they're maybe not. They're in a different domain than the sort of data application type stuff. Like, most apps and data type stuff. Again, you can get huge data situations, but mostly there's like actually small. There's not a lot of, but in a video, there's a huge amount of information. So anyway, 22-minute recording. So it's going through, it's doing a lot of real work. So it's transcribing it. This is the key piece, and it has to do like, it's a lot of sort of like video prep things. It's going to create folders for things, and so this is one where it's like, okay, a 20-minute recording. Like, you can imagine you get into like a 2-hour recording, and it's going to have to take a while. So this is important to think about, right? Like, if you record a lot of stuff, like this Morning Scrum, it could take a while, and I may have to come back and say, okay, let's just like send that video, like let's compress it somehow. Like, when you start working with big chunks of video, the files are big, and when you start working on them, things happen, So local transcription is taking a few minutes. So I go back and forth about this. Like, do I run the local transcription? The cost to send data, but then you're loading, even again, a 20-minute video is not that big of a thing, but you're like, do you send the video? Maybe strip the audio? I don't know. I'm going to have to, there's pieces I'm going to work out, but right now it's running, and like, I'm just going to let it go. So not going to stress about it. It's just that I actually don't want this whole morning scrum to go that long. Maybe I should. I mean, it's going to be, listen, I think I did the one the other day, though, and I think I actually transcribed it. Not on the machine, though. That's where there's going to be some time. Transcription is going to work. So we need to come up with a workflow where we can use AI, like Google or something. Anyway, that's so yeah, we just it's so much faster just to send MP3 to AI. I don't know why the local transcription does not work well, so it gives me a bunch of stuff here. Okay, so, and I actually want to do this in my planner, so this is kind of important on how I'm doing this. So let's actually do this in local dev so we can make rapid fixes if we need. But I want to actually see and run this process through Command Central. So let's work in local dev and go ahead and like add like a way I can see these. I need to see the viewer in the Command Central planning board. I have some of this stuff, but it was I mean this is my this is my like run. This is how I'm getting through this week. I'm getting there. I'm like, this worked. I got to get through at least recording this, and then the Morning Scrum release actually is right here. It's Thursday, because I'm not doing one here. So I'm okay if I just like record this today, basically. But I need to produce the spotlight and get it ready for release. So there's actually it's kind of weird now, because you've got Spotlight Alpha, and then you have like Spotlight, which is what I'm doing now, is really like the release tomorrow, which is really like actually this is releasing on LinkedIn, post my email, yeah. Okay, so there's a lot, like I may not accomplish all of it. And what's the S? I gotta remember what did I put? Oh, that's the strategist. So that's actually just like the article, the LinkedIn. Yeah, so we'll have to see what. Well, I can pull this off here. So what's it take? It's taking its time to make sure. Okay, local dev. so weird. Like, this is so not following the convention. But I think it's difficult because this actually isn't quite right, but this is Spotlight production, and so this is where the production, I actually get this, so what do you think about this? So this isn't quite right at all. It's funny, interesting that you're not really following the convention also that we had for, and we might need to think about how to make this more of a standard approach. But in any case, let's focus on the P02, and that's really where, because it's production, that's where any kind of creation work should occur, and so that's where the actual inspection should go. You can think of this just kind of like how the Spotlight Alpha is, how it has the looking glass, and use the same kind of UI there where it has the artifacts on the right. On the left, it shows like any human tasks that are going to need to be done. Yeah, so we want to use that. I'd like to be able to, you know, this will get to the point where I will talk to Friday here. But right now, this looks pretty good though. Like, it took the transcript, creates the draft. It has the email content, LinkedIn messaging. Okay. This actually looks pretty darn good. Like, hey, once it got it in the right place, I'm like, hey, okay, this is hard to... I mean, the next step is building this. And I actually would like to have... I'm actually just going to add this right now because I feel like it... So I'm actually going to end this recording because I'm just, oh wait, this is like not even what happened. It like, oh, it's got in session. Oh no, this is what I want to see. Yeah, so that's fine. So I'm going to explain what all this is, and I don't want to like worry about recording forever and everything. And there's a lot of recording here. So, and I'm going to end the Morning Scrum piece of this but I'm going to wrap up with a couple things, which is, you know, all right, we got here. I didn't get all the way through producing it today because I got off into the tangents and went and got a snack and, you know, whatever. So, and I'm running out of time. But there is something important here, which is you can see the process. You know, I recorded, it goes, it builds this whole plan. We're going to finish this plan. And, you know, there's more to kind of putting it into the site, the images. There's definitely more to this. But I'm sort of muddling through it here to do it in a really orchestrated way. And you can see that once it pops into this planning environment in the right place, then it's like, okay, here's the things I need to look at, right? And I'm going to fine tune this with AI, but this is the first time through. So once I get here and I'm like, okay, we just recorded this and you did this whole universe of stuff, each time is going to get crisper and better. And